Welcome back to the Mookie Chilson channel, and this is a video response for Theo Clemente Collector and his call out to show a image that best represents Roberto Clemente's legacy and his career in honor of Clemente Day, which is September 15th. So I'm a little bit late on that. I'm also not a Roberto Clemente collector specifically, but I totally love and appreciate him and his cards and what he did for baseball and the world at large. And you see two images in front of you. Neither of these are the image I'm going to select as the number one image. But for me, I love that 1972 Topps Roberto Clemente card. And this image on the right is Roberto Clemente donning his cap to the Pittsburgh faithful on the occasion of his 3,000th and final hit. This was the last hit in Roberto Clemente's career, the last time he would take the field for the Pirates, unfortunately, due to his untimely demise on a humanitarian mission to Nicaragua. This was the last time Pittsburgh got a real good chance to cheer their favorite baseball player, and I love this image. It's actually, he got his 3,000th hit, ironically, off of the New York Mets. John Matlack, he hit a gapper to the wall at Three Rivers, and so there he is donning his cap. Now, it's what I learned very recently is that this almost was his 3,001st hit. It probably should have been his 3,001st hit. The night before, Roberto Clemente had gotten his 3,000th hit off of Tom Seaver. He hit a dribbler on the infield that bounced off an infielder's glove, and it was originally scored a base hit. It was flashed on the scoreboard, base hit. This is 3,000 for Clemente. And then they changed it. The official scorer said, nope, that's an error. And so Roberto went from 3,000 back to 29.99. And then the next day he hit that gapper, and the fans in Pittsburgh got to cheer him. But my favorite card, I just want to go through this a little bit. This is my favorite Roberto Clemente card. And it's for several reasons. And actually, this was just picked by Shane Shoebox Legends as his top 1972 design card of all time. And I totally agree with him. I love the iconic marquee. It looks like an old-timey marquee for a theater that frames the image here. And here's Roberto looking down at the ball as he tosses it to himself. And behind him, I believe that is Shea Stadium behind him. I think those are the people of New York getting ready to watch Roberto. And this was the card that came out after Roberto won the World Series MVP in 1971. And this was the card that was on the wall of some young Clemente fan with pinholes in it. And this was the card that was owned by somebody, a Clemente fan, when they found out about his untimely demise. The 1973 card did not come out until after Roberto's death. And so this card had a swirl of emotion and joy and pain, and it was on somebody's wall back in the day. And so I love this card. I love this image. I love this image for many reasons. Number one, it's one of two cards that show the number 21, Roberto Clemente, on his card. The 71 card also, you can see 21, but that number has become so iconic in the sport. And it shows Roberto in front of the people, as Theo noted in his pick for an image. Roberto was a man of the people, and that's for sure. And so even though these are probably New Yorkers, I love the people behind him. And I love the whimsy of him throwing the ball to himself. Roberto was a serious man who came through serious times. He did not grow up rich in Puerto Rico before he came to the United States. He sort of had to hit his way off the island, and thank God he did. And then when he came to the United States and played, he was subject to all kinds of crazy racism and discrimination and pressures that you can't imagine somebody having to go through. In fact, there's an incredible interview that he did, his last interview, I believe, that I'll link to below, where he talks about some of this. He talks about having to grow up and come through the major leagues in a time when he was not accepted as a Puerto Rican. He was not accepted because of the color of his skin, and he fought through so much to do so well and put an entire city on his back, an entire island on his back, And I love this image of Roberto Clemente. And as I was looking around for images of Roberto Clemente, the humanitarian, I stumbled across another image. And I believe that this image is Roberto Clemente in Puerto Rico. That's my guess. I don't know that for sure. But here he is tossing the ball to himself, probably instructing some of the kids of wherever he's at. I'm guessing it's Puerto Rico. He loved giving back. This was a man who gave back to youngsters. Clearly, this is, I think, probably a 60s image of Roberto in that older uniform. He obviously died in the act of trying to give back and supply food to people who were in need because of a devastating circumstance. Roberto Clemente was so much more than 3,000 hits. He was so much more to the city of Pittsburgh, to the country of America, to the island of Puerto Rico, and to these kids. Could you imagine being the kid sitting there watching Roberto Clemente toss that ball to himself like he was doing in that 1972 Topps? So this is my new favorite image of Roberto Clemente, and it perfectly correlates to his 1972 Topps card, which I love so much. And so this is my submission for you, Theo, Clemente collector. Thank you for issuing this VR challenge. I'm happy to participate in it, and thanks for watching. Thank you.